Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. As you must already be aware, today in this webinar, we are going to talk about tech-enabled fulfillment and how it helps brands, e-commerce brands specifically, in simplifying their operations and improving the overall transparency, accountability, and scalability of their logistics operations. We have with us today Swapnil Nagrale, who is the Director of Product Management at WareIQ, and he'll be sharing with us some insights regarding how many leading brands have been able to do this and facilitate growth, business growth for their across channels and geographies. Just to introduce Swapnil. So Swapnil is an alumnus of IIT Bombay. He comes with an experience of 12 plus years in the field of analytics and product management. In his current role at WareIQ, Swapnil is responsible for spearheading the transformation of current operation-driven legacy fulfillment tech stack to an AI-driven hassle-free product, which takes the cumbersome daily decisioning burden of the supply chain managers, enabling brands to focus more on their core competencies. Previously, he has been associated with Algonomy and Capillary Technologies, where he was responsible for leading global product and analytics-related initiatives. So welcome, Swapnil, to the webinar.
Hey, everyone. Good to be here.
So today, we'll be discussing the following points. Why do brands need end-to-end integrated fulfillment tech solutions? How does the usual current fulfillment tech stack look like? What is the tech-enabled fulfillment workflow, that the unified tech-enabled fulfillment workflow? What are the benefits of leveraging this unified or integrated tech-enabled fulfillment stack? And we'll also discuss some interesting case studies based on our experience of working with multiple leading brands across categories. So just to kind of start off with, more than 50% of brands today globally are investing in supply chain solutions that allow them to sell anywhere without a hassle. Brands today need end-to-end integrated fulfillment solutions because of how dynamic the market landscape has become. They need to be more agile, and thus they need such solutions to be part of their stack. Such solutions help brand with providing in flexibility to work with their own set of specific business nuances. They also act as a plug-and-play solution, which helps them with easy expansion across sales channels and geographies. Usually, such solutions need to be easily deployable and comprehensively cover supply chain use cases as well, in order to provide them with that agility that is required to survive and be successful in today's market. And finally, today, we need to make database decisions, and hence intelligent products which help in offloading decision-making from supply chain managers are going to be critical. So Swapnil, can you just take us through or share your insights around how does the current fulfillment tech stack look like for a lot of the brands that are out there?
Cool, sure. Aman, can you move to the next slide? I'll focus on that. Hi, everyone. Okay. So, in today's webinar, we are going to focus on, as Aman was suggesting, we are going to focus on the importance of your tech-driven supply chain solution and how basically WareIQ's unique product-led end-to-end fulfillment model is helping unlocking growth potential for several D2C brands across the country. In summary, WareIQ holistic platform is helping a lot of businesses to reduce the need of dependency on disparate system by providing a uniform platform. It reduces the need of manual Excel-driven planning, which a lot of brands nowadays adhere to, and transforming their whole approach of inventory planning into an intelligent inventory planning solution, and basically helping organization drive smart decisioning through a platform. The eventual aim of the platform is that how can we remove the hassle of the manual decision that everyone is taking, the manual hassle that everyone is doing in day-to-day work, into a more machine-driven solution where the brand will focus essentially on their core competencies rather than focusing on their operation management day-to-day. Aman, are you able to change the screen, Aman? Next slide.
Just a minute.
Yeah. Can see it now. Okay. So if I were to summarize the major challenges on supply chain for most of the businesses, there are two major solutions. The first is a problem of your bifurcated systems, right? So what you see on the screen is the life cycle of a shipment. If you see from an end customer perspective, a business has to be available on different marketplaces as well as their own digital website in order to maintain their brand identity and presence in order to acquire customer. Usually, whenever you get orders, the orders are processed, routed to your warehouses. You need to have a contractor, a brand in order to sell those goods through your digital websites and everything. They need to have their warehouses set up. They need to have the WMS system in place. They also a lot of time work with a shipping aggregator in order to manage the end mile shipping of the courier to the various zip code present in the country. They usually have an integration with a CRM system in order to proactively send updates to customer. They have a feedback system in place in order to capture end mile feedback from customers. And basically, the more complicated leg is basically how do you manage return and quality check for customer. What a lot of brand end up doing is that for each of these pieces in the supply chain, they would have a different technology vendor working with them, a different WMS provider, a different shipping aggregator, a CRM company, feedback system, return management as a different solution altogether. And most of the time, these solutions aren't talking to each other. And what ends up happening is that brands then end up employing separate resources for who manage the solution on their behalf, eventually complicating the whole problem. All this solution, because they are not talking to each other, would end up creating more discrepancy and leading to revenue loss. Okay. The second major challenge that you have, Aman, if you shift to the next slide. Yeah, is how a business is able to manage their omni-channel presence, right? There has to be a right balance about how the inventory and end product gets exposed to marketplaces and digital assets, right? So, I mean, our brand has to maintain presence in both of them, right? But there are pros and cons of managing marketplaces as well as the digital website. Example, marketplaces do help them to gain a wide network of customer, a wide base of customer through the visibility and the efficiency of planning provided by the marketplace. But at the same time, a brand end up losing a lot of their margin in terms of the commission charged by the marketplaces, as well as their positioning get easily lost by a similarly place product in the market, right? Apart from that, a lot of the time brand face several penalization and get delisted easily if they are not adhering to the norms that are presented by the marketplaces. Whereas on digital assets, such as Shopify, Magento website, which a brand is operating, because the brands, they don't have the supply chain expertise, the planning expertise, the technology and the scale, they are not able to scale up to the same experience which a marketplace is providing. What ends up happening here is that you're providing a fragmented approach to your end customer. The customers who are ordering through your digital asset typically end up getting the kind of delivery experience, maybe a week or 10 days of a delivery, compared to a marketplace environment where you get deliveries within the product promise within a 2 or 3 days. Right. Usually, I think around 40 to 50% of the traffic gets routed through your digital assets, and rest 50% gets routed to your marketplaces. And hence, it is important that a brand is able to manage both of them. Now where WareIQ comes in as a solution provider here is that we are able to provide the right, the entire technology fulfillment solution to the merchants. So in that case, people are able to understand how they can manage their operations, supply chain operation. Aman, can you go back one more slide, please? Yeah, they're able to manage the supply chain expertise using the intelligent inventory planner solution that we are providing, our inventory logic solution that we are providing. We are able to provide the technology in order to track the order journey from their entire, from the moment of sales channel integration to the order dispatch feedback mechanism and so on and so forth, right? Aman, you can go to the next slide. The second piece where WareIQ comes into picture is by modifying or enhancing the entire the life cycle of a shipment here. So what we see, what we see here is that WareIQ, through a host of marketplace integration, is able to unify the data across different marketplaces as well as digital assets and bring that data into the platform. Once in the platform, the intelligence layer provided by WareIQ is helping the merchants in order to select the right kind of warehouse to serve the customer need. It helps them to identify the right inventory mix. We are able to identify which are the products that you should stock, which are the products that you should liquidate, able to identify which zones your products are best selling through and take proactive actions on that. We also offer a dynamic courier allocation engine, which is learning on the basis of the past data for a PIN code and identifying which is the right courier that should be allocated in order to serve efficiently for a particular PIN code. Control tower operation in order to identify the operational matrices for different business matrices gives you proactive prompts and exception messages to manage your business on a daily basis, as well as providing you insights in order to uncover the potential of your business effectively. On top of it, there are a host of the different business apps being provided by WareIQ, and all these apps are basically plug and play. And they cover a range of different business use cases. The eventual goal of these apps is that how close you can get to your marketplace experience by installing each of the apps. So we have apps around Badges and Rush, which is basically providing visibility of product to your end customer on your product page itself, helping you expeditiously ship products. If you are on the same day delivery, if you're located in the metro cities, you have RTO Shield app in order to protect against fraud COD orders. You have branded tracking to extend a website like experience on your tracking page of the brand. Interact through WareIQ Interact, you are able to proactively reach out to customer using a host of different communication channels such as email, SMS, WhatsApp, and a customer feedback app in order to collect feedback from eventual customers about the delivery experience. Apart from that, we have a whole layer of returns and exchange management, which is like, the more complicated problem of operation hassle, which gets automatically streamlined and automated within the system itself. So what you see is that eventually we are able to close using the entire host of applications and integrated solution that WareIQ is offering. We are able to achieve a marketplace like experience to your end customer than D2C so through your D2C websites. Yeah, man, we can go to the next slide. Yeah. Overall, talking about the importance of the tech platform for fulfillment, I think there are if we were to understand the benefits of the platform, it will comprise of three major aspects. One is how we are able to bring operational transparency into place. Okay, so here basically through your different pieces of supply chain operation, we are able to understand the exception, the alerts are proactively presented to customer on the business panel itself. This is the data capturing layer here, where we are able to capture the data from and able to present in form of insight. The second is how we continuously improve on top of it, right? So we are able to ingest the data as we were discussing how the WareIQ intelligence layer is working. We are able to ingest this data into the solution and be able to present insight in form of how your dynamic courier should be allocated, how your stock liquidation should work out, how you should open new fulfillment centers which are nearer to your customer in order to best serve the demand of customer. Second is how you improve accountability into the system and build trust by integrating different disparate systems and reducing redundancy in this across the value chain. The third is how you scale the system, basically to different geographies, to different marketplaces, and through a different how you help to the businesses to grow omni-channel. Okay, what we'll be doing next is that we'll be going into each of this benefit area and talking more about in detail about how how WareIQ as a solution is helping unlocking benefit for each of the subject area, and then going into the case study where we can demonstrate how we have unlocked benefits for our customers through our solution by working explicitly. Okay. Talking more on operational efficiency, what we offer here is a control tower management. When you see control tower management, it is basically like a mission control for your important business operation, right? This is one place where you will be able to see all your exception, all your escalation issues coming from different subject areas, right? So there are where we classify them into separate buckets over here. We offer visibility on inventory through a range of reports and insights. We offer inventory reconciliation as one of the modules over there, where you can understand how much is your inventory at warehouse versus how much is the inventory in processing, how much is currently getting stuck in your return processes, as well as how much is the dead inventory currently lying in the warehouse, through which you get a visibility of how much is the state of inventory at any point of time. You are able to understand the sales performance across replenishment, discounting, and liquidation strategy. You have visibility on returns, which is the second most important point, where you understand how is your re-inventorization working, how is your stock returned back into the pool where it is stuck at any point of time. You have visibility on the performance of your shipment aggregators, so you have understanding of whether the load is directed in a right manner through the right partner for a particular zone. You understand where, which are the courier partners which are leading to a higher SLA, or which zones are struggling in order to process the order, and take preemptive measures, change your allocation rules, change the performance of couriers in order to efficiently serve the demand for a particular zip code. We give you visibility on NDRs with respect to which are the zones where you have the highest NDRs and what are the corresponding reason to it, and visibility on operational matrices to understand how your how soon does it take for you to re-inventorize stock, how much time does it taking to dispatch post getting an order also. Okay, essentially through all these matrices you have better control of the different areas of the application, and you are, rather than each of this module being served through a different solution, you have one panel which you can log in every day in order to understand what is the state of your business operation at any point of time. What we'll be doing next is that we will be going into a case study of how we have solved the biggest operational transparency problem for one of our biggest clients, and how basically how it's unlocking growth for the customer. Okay. So the example here is of a leading apparel manufacturers where we have solved the problem of returns and exchange manager. To give you the scale of the customer, this is a customer which is ordering almost like managing almost like 15,000 orders per day, managing 70,000 SKUs. Most of the SKUs, if you were to say A, B class, which are the most top selling or top moving SKUs, are around 15,000 SKUs, right? And if you look at the fulfillment model, we are managing almost like a zonal plus store servicing model for them, spread across 6 FCs within the country. Marketplace share being around 25% of the entire volume, right? Because the nuance of a lifestyle brand, right? It brings in it's more complexity. Being a lifestyle brand, you can see that the returns stand at around 20% compared to other industries benchmark, which is around 7 to 8%. At electronics, it can go as low as 2 to 3%. Okay, and the typical problem with respect to lifestyle brand is that you have a breadth of product SKUs available, but the depth is missing. So a particular SKU will not have a lot of range of number of SKUs that are available, but the varieties of SKUs will be there. Within the same SKU, you will find different sizes, different color being available, right? And that becomes a bit of a problem because whenever a customer is ordering, they are always in the mindset that why not we order multiple variants of the same product because they are unsure whether the particular size or pattern will fit them. Okay, and what ends up happening is the same customer end up ordering multiple variants of the SKU, and because of the low density of the product that is available for the same SKU, your depth of product is bound to get diminished very soon, right? And it becomes very important that once we have exhausted the number of the products for the SKUs for the same SKU, those need to be returned back and re-inventorized in order to make that inventory live again in the system for the next customer to serve that order efficiently. Okay, and this is basically the kind of challenge that we have solved through our solution. If you look at this solution, it is how operation is working seamlessly with technology in order to bring value and growth to the customer. Okay, so here what we have done is that we have streamlined the operation wherein we are managing returns differentially. We are having courier returns as managed separately, wherein whenever within the supply chain process, wherever the returns are processed, they are, we don't have to ensure any kind of a stricter quality check to them, right? We ensure that those products get inverted as soon as, they are canceled within the supply chain, and we are restocked efficiently. The second is your customer return. In this case of scenario, what ends up happening is that customer end up receiving the product. They may end up, trying to evaluate the product by trying it out. They find the size is not accurate. The product is not meeting expectation, or simply that they didn't like it, and it has to be returned and re-picked up again. Okay, in this case you will require a more stricter surveillance in order to identify whether the product is genuine or not, whether there is any flaw associated with the product, right? Whether the tags are attached to it also. So what ends up happening is that this kind of product goes through a stricter surveillance process, and we are ensuring a refurbishing process to them in order to restock them. There are several steps again in them where we do steam ironing, folding, retagging, minor corrections such as button recline, dry cleaning, and so on and so forth. What ends up happening is that our solution being from operation side is also tied to the technology. So every time we understand that there is a lag in the refurbishing process or the return process, we are able to highlight that to the warehousing team on an immediate basis, and we are able to manage a return re-inventorization levels of 90% within 48 hours, right? So when a product gets returned, we are ensuring that the same lifestyle SKU get replenished within a duration of 48 hours back into the system. So the next customer who's ordering, he will be able to see the product back in stock and is able to avail it. So that is the benefit you end up getting because of managing the return, that the product is available. Due to efficiently managing the business processes, you are able to restock your returns order back into the warehouse soon and be able to make that additional sale, which would again, take a longer time for you to process, right? Taking again the scale of the system at which it is operating, pan India, we are able to invert almost close to 10,000 SKUs per day. We are able to avoid revenue leaks because of the reinventorized inventory we're talking. And apart from that, we are also able to optimize the cost because of the reverse leg by choosing the right kind of a delivery partner for that order, by understanding the past pin code, zip code, pin code performance, and be able to select the partner who will be optimally serving and bringing back this order back to the store of origin. The second is, more on the accountability side. As we were discussing about the life cycle of a parcel, we saw that there are several different pieces of value chain where the solution needs to get integrated, right? And by being a holistic solution, what we are trying to do is that we are trying to be one platform which is catering to several touch points, right? And it has to be accountable in order to build trust to the customer. We identify that there are different stakeholders which are available throughout the process of supply chain. There are end customers who are eventually getting served a particular order. There are clients who are basically using our product in order to derive the value. And then there is government agencies and so forth. And accountability will lie to each one of them, right? And when we are basically integrating end-to-end solution across different pieces of supply chain, it becomes all the more important that your accountability has to be seamless for you to build trust and faith amongst your different stakeholders. So when we talk about accountability to end customer, what we're talking about is how do we build trust to your end customer, right? How do they see how do they have a marketplace experience? Whenever they come to the product page, they are more assured when they see that the product will be delivered to them in a particular duration, right? And that is a trust with which they are going to place a particular order, right? When we have a branded tracking experience, the people are able to see whether the order is getting processed and when it is going to reach to them, right? So they have visibility on the order processing, and which makes them assured and keep intact with not canceling the order and keep aiding and receiving particular order. NPS is a mechanism wherein customer have a feedback mechanism in order to provide a valid channel to voice their concern. WhatsApp communication, again, WhatsApp or any kind of a channel communication would help them to provide proactive alerts in form of communication such as the order being delivered to them, cancelled, RTO, or so forth. In one sense, it gives them a surety that the brand is connected to them and in touch with them, right? Accountability to clients, and because of the different pieces involved, there are several costs being incurred during the operation process, and the brand need to understand at a per order basis, what are the costs for inwarding, storage, outwarding, COT remittances, and so forth. And the application has to have those kind of visibility in terms of per order cost. So they understand, okay, whether they are not penalized, they are not getting charged wrongly, and they have a voice to raise concern for the wrong charges that they face. And the lastly, what we have is accountability to government by processing all the documentation, GST, EVA clearances, and bill, maintaining the audit for last 3 years in order to manage dispute settlement. Okay. Now, accountability becomes all the more important in the case study that I'm going to present next, which is, our seller on record model. Okay. And this is one of the brands for which we have established the accountability in a more complex manner, in a more complex scenario. So House of Brand. So here, for example, the House of Brand is hosting several labels inside it. These are different brands. And each of this brand have their own identity, right? And they are selling all this product through a central agency, right? Which is the House of Brand or the common management, right? The problem here is that the House of Brand has a FDI investment in it, because of which they can't directly serve these products to customer. Okay, so they have to go through a seller on record format where WareIQ acts as a seller on record and sell the products on behalf of the House of Brand to the end customer, right? In order to maintain this, what we have done is that we have integrated across several brands. And when we integrate across several brands, the challenge is that each of the brands will have their own nuances. Each of them will have their own D2C website, their own ERP system, their own WMS system. So how do we basically integrate across all these different brands bring them into a common platform so that they are able to fulfill the operation seamlessly using an integrated fulfillment platform, right? So first of all, there are multiple challenges. First is how do we integrate across an ecosystem or diverse system, right? That is being done. Second is how do we act as a, how do we present a seller panel to them? So a management who belongs to a house of brand would be able to see an aggregated view across the brand, whereas individual brands would have an access to see the performance for their respective brands themselves. Okay, and this is where our seller panel application helps them to monitor the performance, where they are able to understand the brand performance individually and the aggregated performance also. Apart from that, what we are able to do is that we are able to manage, because of the complex scenario of FDI investment, we are able to manage inventory using a virtual pool, a virtual inventory pool to separately for their marketplaces and website. And being a seller on record, how do we manage taxation, compliance, invoicing? We also have nuances around how do we integrate back to the ERP system in order to synchronize all the invoicing that we are doing. How do we integrate with their ERP system to show the taxation report and so on and so forth, as well as how do we process the payment that is coming from your D2C platform back to the WareIQ and back to our integrated fulfillment platform. And from there, basically the house of to individual brand in order to procure and fulfill the orders. Okay, so this is one of the examples, one of the more complex examples where we are individually maintaining and serving orders for brands through the ecosystem of seller on record here. Okay, and lastly, the last and important aspect of the tech-enabled platform is how do we scale across channels and geographies. Okay, and again, when we talk about scaling, there are 3 to 4 different aspects to it. Basically, scaling could mean that how do you open a new fulfillment network nearer to customers so that you are able to fulfill their demand within a day or a 2-day basis, right? So, we are using WareIQ network planner, we are able to understand the demand centers that a particular brand is processing across the country. We are able to identify which are the key demand center and which are the right kind of fulfillment center which can be open nearer to that particular demand center in order to serve it efficiently. We also have a mechanism wherein we can offer a same-day delivery program which can be activated within a couple of days for customers, wherein we can serve the expedited delivery to customer on the same day basis, right? Again, this is part of our integrated fulfillment stack, which can be activated on the need basis. So scaling would mean that you are able to open a new fulfillment center within a duration of few days, or you can serve your customer on a same day basis to your key demand center located in the city, right? Second way of expanding or scaling your business is through expanding your presence across different marketplaces. And this is through a range of sales channel integration which the solution is providing. So you can easily, with a few clicks, able to expand your reach to a new marketplace by through a range of host of marketplace integration that our solution is providing. Apart from that, we recently launched our international shipment program, wherein you can even serve the demand of shipping internationally by integrating to WareIQ International, another app through which you can start shipping internationally. Scaling to volumes is again one of the important things, such as how do we process peak load scenarios or event sales scenarios, wherein normally whenever your loads are a particular level within your BBD or peak festive season, these loads are going to shoot up by a significant level, let's say 5 to 10x, right? And your system should be flexible and elastic enough in order to scale to that particular demand without breaking or throwing exceptions also, right? Similarly, how does your system flexibly respond to event sales loads, such as a crate sale example within where your sale or the order volumes tend to grow 3 to 4x on a daily basis, right? So again, another aspect of scaling is how do you technologically scale to additional peak load that you're processing. Last but not the least is how you can go omni-channel. And this is where we have a very unique use case of store fulfillment model, right? How can you integrate with your stores as a fulfillment center, and you are able to synchronize your in-store inventory in order to cater to your local demand and located very near to your store. Okay, there are various nuances again to how do you integrate stores as your fulfillment center. There are taking an example of one of our mattress company working with us, wherein you have a format where the products are very bulky and usually whenever customers are coming to the store and they're placing the order, they don't want to carry the order with them, right? So what they do is they place the order at the store. They may take the cushion or mattress, cushion or pillow cover along with them, but the mattress they want it to be delivered later based on the nearest fulfillment center availability. So this is a concept where you buy a product at any point of time, but those products get delivered to you through the nearest fulfillment center. The second use case is if a customer is ordering online, basically you are able to do a partial fulfillment through the store of a mattress or of a pillow or a pillow cover, and the rest of the shipment gets served through the nearest fulfillment center. So you have a multi-piece shipment use case wherein some of the orders is getting shipped early, where the rest of the bulky product gets shipped later through the fulfillment center available. And then lastly, how can you use your store location as a fulfillment center for your online customers? So if an order is coming to your nearest store, your store could act as a fulfillment center in order to completely serve that demand. Okay, so this is another use case of how you can, again, unlock the growth potential by using store as a fulfillment model. Okay, so these are various ways in which you can scale your businesses through a range of business strategies over here, tested by our platform. I'll be taking you through one of the interesting case studies next.
Before we jump to the next case study, just wanted to make an announcement. So if you have any questions, this announcement is for the participants. If you have any questions, you can drop your questions in the Q&A box, and we'll be taking up the questions in the last 10 to 15 minutes of the webinar. And Swapnil will be sharing his insights on the same. Right. We also have a live poll with a variety of questions that are part of it. We would like you to share your inputs on those because it will help us in sharing the relevant insights with you. So please participate in the live poll as well. Moving on, let's discuss the small case study we have related to this particular point.
Yeah, so this case study is more about a fast-growing women's fashion brand, who have expanded their store network using network planner capability of WareIQ. So this is basically, the brand was serving a lot of its, it was serving pan-India orders through one of its North Indian FC. And resulting in, a lot of the orders coming in from Northeast or from South India were to be served from North India, resulting in the longer delivery shipping timelines as well as, higher shipping cost, right? Which led to a broken experience, a fragmented experience to your end customers, right? And the brand was, we kind of helped them in order to solve their challenge and effectively grow their business out of their north centers to the rest of the country as well. Okay, here we have our own capability of a network planner, wherein we are able to ingest the data across the different sales channels, be able to churn that data using our network planner capability in order to understand, what are in order to understand and simulate different scenarios of opening network, fulfillment center across the country. So WareIQ already had a network of fulfillment center, and we're trying to understand if we were to open another fulfillment center and try to run a simulation to understand what is the cost benefit that we are going to get, right? How is the shipping time going to come down? What will be the shipping cost? How can we optimize it? Okay. And this is basically where we were able to identify additional demand centers. If you go to the next slide, Aman. Yeah. So these are the two scenarios, before and after. In the before scenario, as you were saying, most of the demand across the country, the red bubbles are indicating where the demands are getting generated. So as you can see, although the fulfillment center for the brand was located in Delhi region, North India, but a lot of demands was coming from South India as well as Kolkata region, right? And all of those orders were getting routed from the North India warehouse, leading to an average delivery timeline of 5.8 days. The shipment cost was very high, around 110 days. Regional utilization was also very low, right? What we ended up doing is that we ended up creating 2 additional warehouses. We expanded the brand's presence in 2 of our additional fulfillment center in Mumbai and Bangalore. It didn't take them long. I think within 2 or 3 days, we are able to expand and shift the inventory, which are the fast moving or the demand centric products from your Delhi region to other FCs of WareIQ towards Mumbai and Bangalore region. And what we are seeing is that now with the revised network plan, For the brand, we are able to see a decrease in the average delivery time to up to 1.3 days. The shipment cost has gone down to up to 40 rupees, and the regional utilization has increased to 70%. Okay. And what the important aspect being here is that, this is the kind of marketplace experience that we were talking about initially in our slide. How do we provide our supply chain expertise to the brand in order to help them scale beyond their regional presence into going to a pan-India network. So here we are able to expand them, provide them insight as to which product they should stock in the rest of the countries, which are the location where they should get located in order to increase their presence. Interestingly, what has happened over the course of time is that we have seen that this particular brand has also grown around 2x in their overall volume in the course of last quarter or so. And a lot of that was backed by the efficiency of their supply chain operation, because the better your supply chain operations are, the more easy it is for it is more convenient for the brand to get recognized through your brand identity and enhance their base of repeat customers over here.
So that essentially brings us to the Q&A session, which is the last clip of the webinar. We have received a few questions, Swapnil. So I'll just kind of go through the questions, and maybe you can share your insights on those. Right. Swapnil, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So first question is, how do you manage the return of a consumable product, example, a food item?
Yeah, I'll also take the help of Omkar here. Omkar, are you available?
Hello, I'm so sorry. I was not able to speak earlier because of some technical issue. But yeah, for food product returns, typically there are a couple of other problems involved, which might be related to expiry of the product, as well as ability to resell. So there are categories like liquid where the returns won't be even entertained. It will be courier return directly cancelled at the source itself. And we'll just create a new shipment for the customers if in case there is an issue in terms of there is a customer problem or order which is there. But typically liquids are not re-inventorized. For solids, typically we will look into packets. It will go through the same kind of QC process. Basis the intactness of the product in terms of packaging and availability of shelf life, we will re-inventorize it. So apart from liquid, we don't have a problem in terms of re-inventorization. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I think. Okay.
Thanks, Omkar. So moving on to the next question, this is a short one. Are you also managing imports as well as exports?
I can try to answer this particular part. Yeah, so export part, yeah, we do have recently launched our international shipping as an option, wherein we are able to help our D2C brand go international. So that capability is already, will be available, is already available. Second is more on how do we manage imports. I think we are doing it for one of our through our seller on record mechanism. We are doing it for one of our customers, where we are shipping the goods from China for the supplier and able to sell it by using a seller on record seller on record model here. Harsh, I think, wants to answer this, add his perspective to this question as well. Aman, can you make Harsh as a?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Harsh.
Harsh, you're on mute, I suppose. Now you're muted.
Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, I think export is something where we have our international shipping tie-up, so that can be done. With respect to import, we have tie-ups with quite a few custom clearance agents. So with their help, we are able to get the custom clearance for quite a few companies that we work with right now who would be importing from China, Europe, and some other geographies, where through these custom clearance agents, these stocks get approval, and then from the bonded warehouse, we would invert the stock to our FCs. So that's a standard model. Lately, there are few seller on record model also, which we are working on, where some of these companies who have regulatory challenge can work via some of these third party, where these SORs can help in merchant listings into different marketplaces and channels. And it further uh, eases out the process of importing it from various geography. But yeah, that process is pretty well streamlined, and we work with quite a few ecosystem partners to pace that thing up and make the process more streamlined.
Thanks, Swapnil, Omkar, and Ash for answering that question. Moving on, one of the other attendees would like to know how they can integrate their Amazon store with the WareIQ platform directly.
I think we already have an integration with Amazon, account. So, Harsh, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, so one part of it is the account integration. So for that, since we already have the live integration with them, so you just need to input your seller credentials and the platform is up and running. The other piece is the getting your warehouses listed as additional place of business. For suppose you are selling from Delhi, Bangalore, and Mumbai, and these three locations you want to onboard with WareIQ. So all of our warehouses are seller prime compliant, so you will also retain the advantage of say prime for these locations. So for that, you raise a request that these are the three locations you are looking to onboard onto your seller panel, and then Amazon team gets in touch with us. We share the documents, and then you get the approval on that, and then those locations also start getting featured as APOB onto our panel. So it's a pretty streamlined process on that, both on the tech integration front, and second is on the warehouse onboarding and the processes around that. So we work with about 300 odd brands. Predominant of them are also selling on Amazon. So that process has been fairly streamlined over a period of time.
Thanks, Harsh, for taking that up. So one of the attendees would like to know how quick is the onboarding process and what do we specifically offer for fashion startups that don't have huge orders? So Swapnil, Omkar, Harsh, could any of you take that question up, please?
I can take that. So the first thing is that when you are starting something from scratch, one critical aspect is you generally don't really have a very good perspective on how much volumes are going to come in and where they are going to come in from. On that, I think we can help you with some bit of analytics and help plan your inventory for say next 30 days and so, and help you with the right structure that as you go live, I think these are the locations that you should start with, and with a very bare amount of stock investment over there. We don't really have any minimum, so we don't really charge you on a warehouse MOQ basis. Our pricing is on a per order basis, so that gives you a bit of ease. At least a large base of our customers are uh, entry to fast growing companies and started their business from scratch with us and have grown over a period of time. So from our side, since we work with a large base of such customers, and some of them become pretty big over a period of time, the business case kind of works out. So that's why we keep a no MOQ model right now, so you can scale up, scale down fairly easily. So yeah, I think from an onboarding perspective, so tech onboarding is pretty straightforward since we have integrations with all the prominent channels which a brand typically sells on right now. From a warehouse onboarding, our target is to get everything up and running in 7 to 10 days, where the slowest piece is typically the warehouse addition, APOB and PPOB approval. Over a period of time, we have also built out a lot of quick frameworks to get that thing accelerated. So yeah, from the point you are okay with our commercial, our target is to get your inventory in our warehouse, get everything up and running within a duration of 7 to 10 days.
Right. So Sahil is asking this: can WareIQ only be used for handling returns in case he's working on the dropship model?
So typically the way we look at it, the returns have to come back. Yeah, Harsh, you want to take this?
So Omkar, yeah, I think on this one, essentially, there is one catch where if you have your warehouse listed as a GST, say in a particular state, and the return is coming into our warehouse, suppose it is of another state, then there will be a bit of challenge over that. But I think we would like to discuss this use case a little bit more. So I'll drop in my email. If you can send in your current uh, manufacturing location or central location where you're dispatching from, probably we can discuss this and work out a solution. But yeah, I think there's no it's something little custom. We'll have to design something on this one.
I don't think there are any other questions left. Thank you, team, for taking up the questions and sharing your thoughts and insights on these questions. So that essentially brings us to the end of today's webinar. I'd like to thank Swapnil, Omkar, and Harsh for joining us and sharing their insights through this detailed presentation, and also taking up questions to answer the audience's queries. And I'd like to thank the participants, the audience members, for joining in today. So hope you have a good day, and we'll be closing the webinar. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for your presence today.